in the afternoon the same day. So I've done that. And amazing part about this city is, instantly people think, well, to go sailing or to go skiing, you need to be, rich. You need to have a lot of money, which is absolutely not true in Canada. The so many programs we have in Vancouver, social programs, especially for students, right, where you can literally go and do it at no cost. And specifically when it comes to sailing, this is something that I can share with you when you're here. I can teach you how to go sail without any money at all, like completely free. I'm passionate about sailing, and I do a lot of sailing, competitive sailing, and we even at one point we created school-based sailing club for our students, right? So that will resume. We'll do it again for sure. And when you join us, you'd be more than welcome to be part of it. All right. So that is a little bit about Vancouver. Now, hopefully, we will be following up with webinars like that again and again. It's going to be happening more and more. And you're welcome to come back and join us again. Now, what I want to do today is I want to talk about the school, about specifically IT programs that we have, and how these IT programs can, benefit you in your future career. How you can make it happen for yourself. Landing an amazing job, really well-paid job, and most importantly, what we are famous for is we're not going to just teach you and let you go, right? So we will stick with you, and I make it my own personal responsibility to stay with you throughout not only graduation and getting your first job, but actually staying with you throughout your career, your entire career, as much as you need us, right? So I have students that work with Hewlett Packard now, with HP and IBM. And believe it or not, they come to us after graduating with us 6 years ago. They come back and say, hey, Boris, I'm assuming a new role now within the organization. I was just hoping you can, help me with my, knowledge and energy. And most importantly, I love helping students with, giving you a boost of positive, being positive and excited about what you do, because it is extremely important, right? So this is an overview of our presentation. Although we're not going to be talking in great details about all this, all right? So I'm going to leave the actual slides to you to read. I'm not going to be reading slides. Or last thing I want is to make it boring for you, right? So okay, well, I can read slides myself, right? So that is exactly what we're going to do. Now, you will read the slides later. You can go about. Umesh will share the actual recording of this webinar with you, and you can again view it and read it. But right now, I want to be very specific on certain things. Okay, let's talk about CCTB. We were established in 2015. All right. In 2015, we came in very strong and passionate about IT, and we still passionate, and we still on the same mission. What we're thinking of, we are literally aiming at building MIT of Canadian West Coast, right? So we are a technology-based college. Technology is our most valuable, most primary programs, because our students, and we talk about it today later, our students work in HP, work in Hewlett Packard, work in Boeing. We have many, many success stories like that, and that is something we'll talk again. Now, we are technology oriented and driven by specific things like data architecture, infrastructure architecture, solution development, which means literally coding, right? So we have many programs, and our programs, I will talk about it, they are very, very unique, okay? You can go to a different school and learn how to write code there. And when I came to Canada 30 years ago, I was one of the students, trying to reprofile myself, trying to adapt to a new culture. And I actually, believe it or not, on top of my, education and on top of my university education back from my country, I've done 3 more colleges here in Canada in my early years, like almost 30 years ago, right? And one thing that I learned is, I got to be straightforward with you. For at least first 3 months in each one of those colleges, I was extremely not happy. I was frustrated because first 3 months I had absolutely no clue what I'm doing and why I'm doing this in the first place, right? So, and then 3 months later I go, oh, okay, I kind of figuring it out now. But when we established CCTB in 2015, my primary goal was to make sure that you have crystal clear understanding from day one. What are you doing and why are you doing this? Okay. So in this slide, you see that we are a private institution. We provide quality education. So this is just a, kind of information that needs to be here in the slide. So what I want to talk about core values, what we do, why we do it, right? So what we actually do for our students. We can move on to the next slide, Umesh.
Sure.
So CCTB, Canadian College of Technology and Business. Now, Umesh introduced me earlier. My name is Boris Paludo, and CCTB came to be from a school named Paludo Institute of Technology and Media. Okay, so we were doing technology, and we were doing such an amazing things that what happened for us, it was just absolutely incredible. So we got noticed by very big organization, globally positioned organization called Global University System, GUS. Now, we are part of that organization. So Global University Systems, they came in and say, you guys are doing an amazing things. Why don't we team up and work together? Now, for us, it was just absolutely incredible thing because we can now work with people like yourself and deliver that quality stuff that we delivered in the past, deliver it to you, to international students, because in the past we were only domestic students, right? Now, if you're interested to learn about our background, you can look us up, Paludo Institute of Technology and Media. And specifically, if you do that, what I want you to do specifically is, if you find on Facebook, Paludo Institute, go to reviews page. And there are probably about 60 reviews from our students, right? So you will find that we have a square 5 stars, not anything less than 5 stars. And every student speaks amazingly about us and specifically what we made happen for them in terms of career. They all end up in highly paid, globally positioned organizations. We have students working for Amazon. We have students working for Boeing. So people working for HP. And that's just a few, right? Now, what I want to show you now is our campus. We actually have 2 campuses. Both of them are absolutely beautiful, right? Now, the primary campus, main campus, located in the very center town of Vancouver, in Financial District, Business and Financial District, right in the heart of Vancouver. Absolutely stunning, gorgeous heritage building. Now, from the outside, when you look at it, it's an older building. Our government, Canadian government, takes care of heritage buildings, takes really, really good care of heritage buildings. So it's beautifully, very beautiful building. But the inside, you can see on these pictures, is state-of-the-art modern facility. Now you see the lobby, you see the classrooms, and you know, I gotta tell you, I feel like the luckiest man on earth being able to teach in this facility and work with students. My biggest passion is, Umesh said that earlier, that I'm very passionate about technology, but I gotta tell you, I run IT projects in technology since mid 90s, since 1995. I run projects for large telecommunication companies, for financial sector. But when I started working with students, I brought my corporate training experience when we started at college. When I started working with students, that's where I became truly happy, because you know, when I work with students, I see your eyes, I see your passion, I see your how eager you are to learn, and being able to help you with that, for me, it's just an amazing reward in my career. Amazing. Now what happens is, I know that when I'm in a classroom, and I also teach all of our instructors, train our instructors to be as passionate as I am, as charismatic, you know, so we drive your energy. We make sure that you're super happy about what's happening, and you're not struggling like I struggled 30 years ago. When I come to my classroom, I just didn't know what was happening. So what we do is we show you the entire picture of what are you doing, why you're doing this, why you need it in your career. So once you see the picture, then you have a crystal clear understanding why you're doing specific things. Okay, and now being part of this facility, I mean, studying in a facility like this in right very center town of Vancouver Business and Financial District, you have restaurants around, you have many happy people around that you can make friends, you know, go for a coffee. It's just an incredible, amazing place to be. All right, so we can move to the next slide, Tomesh.
Sure, Boris.
So I want to talk about the 4 programs that we have to offer right now. I mean, we have many different courses, we have boot camps, we have a lot of stuff, right? So, but our big guns, as if you will, right? So, big guns are these specific 4 programs that are built and designed with international students in mind, because when it comes to international students, people just like yourselves, what happens is we have a lot of people that come from all over the world, different cultures, with different backgrounds, different education. Believe it or not, we have in the same room, in the same classroom, we quite often, not quite often, pretty much all the time, we have students that have never worked, they're just out of high school, right? And we also may have students that have some education, some experience, and what we take pride in, and what I am very, very excited about, and actually proud, what we created the atmosphere of friendliness in the classroom. Everybody, you know, of course, day 1, day 2, you will feel kind of, you know, like, okay, what am I doing? This person doesn't know much. Or vice versa. You say, okay, what am I doing here? This person is, you know, so well educated and have background in technology, and I just come from nowhere. So what we do is we create this environment in the classroom, that atmosphere where you excited from the day 1 to be with this group of people with different levels of backgrounds and education, right? So what we do is we teach you to understand that in your future career, not only asking for help is very, very welcome, but also offering a helping hand is incredibly welcomed and rewarding, right? So we create this atmosphere of friendliness for all students on every level, right? And no more than a week later, we can see the classroom is actually comes alive. You know, literally a few days later, the classroom comes alive, and everybody's happy to be with everybody. People from different countries, different cultures, they excited, they get happy. The most important thing is create happy atmosphere, right? So that you know what you're doing and you're friends with people that you are in the classroom. And that is something that I'm very proud of, that we were able to create. So this four big guns, as I said, these are one called UI UX developer, and you all know that we refer to people that write code or people that build software products as developers. So think of developer, same thing as programmer, right? UI UX stands for user interface, user experience. All right. Now, when we talk about user interface and user experience, if you choose this program and you decide to go for UI UX developer program, now you will be working with something called user interface, or as we IT people call it, front end. So what it means literally, you will be designing and building everything that you see on the screen. Okay? Now later I will show you a few diagrams that will explain to you in details what is front end, what is back end, and where your position in that organization is. But just a couple of words before we move on to the next program, I want to say, what is UI UX? We all using cell phones now, right? Mobile devices. Maybe some of you remember, maybe you never remember because you're just young, right? So some years ago, whatever that was, 15 years ago, or right, or 20 years ago, we all were introduced something, this amazing new device called iPhone, right? And it went explosively popular. The popularity just exploded, right? What happened is, why iPhone became so popular, and the reason is actually very simple. It's very straightforward. You know how you pick up your iPhone if you're using iPhone, right? So you pick it up, you start using it, and you know that you don't have to do any learning. You know every single thing you need to do next, right? So you know every single button you need to tap with your finger or scroll. You don't need to do any learning because it was so user friendly. It was literally on the first try, iPhone is your friend, right? So, and you're amazed how easy it is to use, all these great things that it does. The reason it became so popular because Apple hired very talented UI UX developers. So basically, you will be responsible for creating that user experience, including everything that looks at you from the screen, all these buttons and links, where they position, making sure that the interface is very user friendly. Okay, people are happy to use it, because I can tell you, I have a lot of experience in IT, and the most difficult part to actually retain the user is if you create a very confusing interface. People will click here, click there, and they will just leave because they don't know what to do next. It's very confusing. They will just leave. So your job as a user interface, user experience developer will be working with business analysts, working with developers, creating that everything that you see on the screen, basically working on the front end. All right. Now, to summarize, who needs to pick UI UX developer program? Probably people that have stronger artistic side. If you love music, if you love movies, if you love arts, drawing, if you really enjoy working with graphics, right? So if you feel that you're very strong creative side of you, that user interface, user experience developer would definitely be for you, okay? Now, you're not going to be writing a lot of code. You will be doing some scripting, right? So you will be maybe reading some code with developers, but this specific job is more on creative side rather than a technical side, okay? So if you're creative, this program is definitely for you, all right? Now, so let's move on, Umesh. Let's move on to another slide.
Thank you,
Now,
Boris.
another program is called Database Developer Analyst. Now, I want you to I want you to remember, we all, and I'm sure many of you have heard about DBA, which stands for Database Administrator. Now, think of database administrator as someone who is taking care of something that is already created. So if somebody already created database, created all these tables, a massive amount of tables, created all these dependencies between those tables, right? So we call it relational databases. So basically, a piece of information in one table will have some kind of relevance to another piece of information in a different table. That's why we call it relational database. Now, so database administrator is somebody who takes care of something that was already existed, right? Already built by other people. But database developer analyst is someone who actually create those databases. So you will be working with architecture documents. So architects create design, and you're looking at that design. Your job will be to actually build database, meaning creating new tables, creating, defining all those columns in those tables, setting those dependencies between tables, how one piece of information in one table actually related to another piece of information in another table. So this job is quite technical. So you will be working on a low-level technology, working with some coding and database languages, database querying stuff like structured query languages, looking at other technologies. Now, who this program is for? Now, this if you have very strong attention to detail, I would say, very strong attention to detail, and you like to work with data. Maybe you like to work with spreadsheets and see how tables work with each other, and looking at those bad pieces of data. We call how we call it corrupt data, right? So your job will be not only building databases, but also when something happens, and 80 to 90% of all software-related problems come from bad data. So your job will be to actually find that piece of bad data and fix it, right? So to get rid of the bug, right? To fix the bug. Now, one thing I want to say is it may sound quite intimidating, quite complex. Now, the one thing I want to assure you, we start at the very, very basic, at the very beginning, right? So we literally start at zero, but we progress very quickly, and we do hands-on work to make sure that not only you learn the concept and methodology, you actually do it by hand, with your own hands every single day. Okay, so we have a lot of hands-on. Now, database developer is somebody who like to analyze data on a vast scale, very, very vast scale. So just imagine database that consists of, say, 150 tables. Each table will have 100 or 200 columns, and each table will have maybe 5,000 or 10,000 records. So that is absolutely massive amount of information. So when we learn this, when we study this particular field of work, right? Again, there is absolutely no reason to be intimidated or thinking it's too difficult, too complex. It's actually pretty straightforward. You will be surprised when we get to it. From very first few days, I will personally make sure that you understand clearly what it is, what are you going to be doing here, and why, right? And just to make sure that every day in the school, you are happy. You are very happy to come back to school, to your classroom every single day, because things are not as complex, and you have someone who explains to you everything in clear details. Now, again, if you love analyze, data, graphs, spreadsheets, everything in the world now is driven by data, and we hear things like artificial intelligence, right? Now, things like data mining, big data, machine learning. Now, those are, if you look at other colleges, you will see they just have a course on artificial intelligence, or they have a program on data analytics, right? So now this program gives you everything. So you start with data management concept, what data is, how to work with data, how to build databases, right? So how to generate data, how to query data, how to request different pieces of data from different tables at once. But as you go through this program, you will actually be, once you build up the core, then based on that core, you will start learning artificial intelligence, big data, machine learning. Those are all components of this program. So out of this program, you will not just come out as a database developer or data related specialist. You will come out with the knowledge and expertise of a data architect level. And I personally promise you that. Okay, so you will have the knowledge, of course, assuming that you do your hard work studying and learning and doing your assignments and everything. But the value you get out of this, you will be on the level of data architect. And once you're ready to get a job, you will be working with our absolutely talented instructors. And, well, I promise you one thing, I'm going to be around. You will see me all the time. This is one of my biggest passion, is to actually help students to get really, really good, really well-paid jobs, okay? I will not teach you to get a job entry-level position, because for this year, you will be doing a lot of hands-on work. We will build your profile based on that work as someone who already has experience. And you will go straight to the somewhere intermediate level, right? And we will stay with you throughout your entire career. All right. So database developer analyst, absolutely hottest skill on the market right now. Now you learn about artificial intelligence. You learn about like cryptocurrencies, the blockchain. It's all heavily based on data. All right. So if you go into data, you will be at the cutting edge, and you will be surprised. You will be the most well-paid IT professional. Database people out of our program get somewhere, around $80,000-$90,000 a year. Some people get literally start with $65 an hour. So which evaluates to 130,000, right? So this is one thing that we'll be talking a little bit later, right? So how do you understand this hourly pay? So things are simple. If you're offered $50 an hour, how much is it per year? Just double that, and that's how many thousands of dollars you will be making in a year. So if you negotiated and you landed a $50 an hour job, actually a separate topic for presentation. So maybe in the future, we'll create a webinar specifically about pay. How much money you'll be making in as an IT professional in North America, right? So let's move on to another slide, Umesh.
Sure, Boris.
software developer and test. Now, you've heard and you probably know of some colleges or university programs, right? So when they say software testing, now think of this as software testing on steroids. So software testing is very non-technical job, right? So people just look for bugs and then they create a defect and then they pass it over to developers, right, to fix. This is completely different. Even though you're part of QA department, which stands for quality assurance, you are still a software developer. In fact, you are actually a way more qualified programmer out of this program than just a regular programmer, right? Because you will be responsible for something called software deployment, right? You will be creating, writing code, automating little, business processes here and there. But the most important thing is, as a software developer in test, or another title for this position is software development engineer in test, right? So your job will be to work with the entire team to make sure that software is actually built. Once it's built, you will be making sure that it's actually delivered to the customer in as planned manner. Okay. Now, people out of this program are pretty much you always become a right hand of project manager. All right. Now, software developers in test, people responsible for overseeing all processes within the organization. So, excuse me, you will be actually working with business analysts. We'll be working with infrastructure, with programmers, to make sure that everything they do is nicely coordinated, and the actual software product, final product, is actually delivered as it should, on time, without any glitches. All right. Now, who should pick this program? If you feel that you are more of an people person, if you like to, make friends and talk to people, and and you feel that you have a bit of a leadership side of you, this program is absolutely perfect for you. Now, also, if you think that you would like to make a very fast career in technology, getting into executive level, become a manager, but technical manager, right? So manager that actually knows technology really well, right? So this is absolutely perfect for you. We have we have countless numbers of students that went through this program, and they actually now in leading positions in management, in actually in higher management in companies like Amazon. We have a couple of students. One of them she's a manager. She's a manager at Amazon, and she actually comes back and say, "Hey, Boris, do you guys have anybody we can hire?" Right? Same thing with IBM. This lady, she's a senior leader for a software development team, right? And she's actually the one that came back to us after being at IBM for quite a few years and picked up some new skills and spent some time with us, and now she's in leadership. And we have many people, many students in leadership in IT everywhere that we keep close relationship with. So this program, if you want to launch a career that will take you to that leadership level, to the project management level, this program is perfect for you. All right. Now, Umesh, let's go to the next program.
Sure.
All right, cybersecurity. I probably don't even have to talk about the importance of this, right? So we had, if you watch news, like myself, I'm totally addicted to news. It's not good. I know it's not good, but I like to keep an eye on what's happening in the world. And we know the cyber wars. Literally, cyber wars are happening between different countries in the world with how they struggle for power, right? So it's not my thing. I think people just need to be friends. Everybody needs to be friends with each other, and together, being friends, we can make so many great things happen, right? Instead of going into war and fight for power. So cybersecurity analyst is such a critical skill to have these days. They are literally, you finish this program, people will be lining up to hire you. Literally, the demand is so huge for cybersecurity analysts that not only you will never have any problems getting a job, excuse me, you will actually have problems choosing one, and one will be better paid than the other. So as cybersecurity, you will make sure that the system, the software system, is bulletproof. Bulletproof in the sense that nobody can penetrate the system. Nobody can access access data or code or hack the website. So your job, through learning all these critical skills, you will literally be finding what I call is vulnerability. You will be looking for things, where the program is vulnerable, right? So, and then you pass those vulnerabilities to developers to make sure that they close those holes, okay? They patch those vulnerabilities, they fix it, and the system is secure and strong as a vault, all right? Now, we just recently had cybersecurity students placed in one of the leading companies here in Vancouver. But the beauty of working in IT these days is that you will actually can work anywhere from anywhere, and also IT is so hard right now. We have students, just to give you an example, we have students that were hired from Europe, and people in Europe that hired our students, they actually paid for relocation completely. They paid for their entire family to relocate to, it was Ireland, Belfast in Ireland. So they they flew them over, they flew their, they moved the entire household furniture and items and their cars and everything, right? So they were so excited to go to Ireland. They spent some time there, and they just recently came back to Vancouver, and it was an amazing experience, right? So cybersecurity is very, very, it's just, there's no words to describe how big the demand for cybersecurity analysts right now. And putting those two together, if you become a cybersecurity analyst and you become a cybersecurity from Canadian College of Technology and Business, the combination is a win-win. There's no way to lose, right? So what it means is not only you become cybersecurity analyst, you will also learn absolutely critical skills of negotiating work. We're not going to just teach you the skill and say, go get a job. I will personally teach you how to get a good job, how to negotiate the salary. Because many people, and it's huge mistake, think that asking about salary is the wrong thing to do at the interview. What I will teach you is it's the very first thing you need to talk about the interview, because you don't want to waste interviewers' time. You don't want to waste your own time, right? And I can tell you, I interviewed over the span of my career, I did a lot of hiring. And when I interview a person and the person says, oh, money is not a problem, right? So I usually ask, like, what is your expectations in terms of pay? And 99% of people always say, oh, money is not a problem. I just want to be beneficial, to the organization. That instantly disappoints me as an interviewer, because I think if you're don't know your value and you just want to get in, that means you're probably not a great professional, right? So I will teach you, myself personally, and our other instructors, we will teach you how to not only talk about money, but also, speak about money in the way that you actually generate more interest from your interviewer rather than losing it, right? So if I see your value and you're excited about work and you know how much you cost, but you're willing to even negotiate, right? So I will be more interested in you than somebody else who says that I really don't care about money. I just need to get a job, right? Because you need to remember this: IT is very, very wealthy industry. IT has an insane amount of money. So for them, hiring like someone like yourself and paying you $60 or $70 an hour, it's not a big deal, especially in Canada or in North America in general, right? Um, so this is something that we need to remember: cybersecurity. Now, as we discuss these programs, what I want to do is I want to talk about organization. We have about 15 minutes left, right? So let's move on to the next slide. Remember, I
Sure,
said that.
Boris.
Remember, I said that. There are eye-opening um, topics that I want to touch on today, and these are what I want to talk. So nowadays, everything in the world is about software, so, right? So you uh, you use your cell phone, software. You use your computer, software. You cars, literally. Alan Musk with his Tesla. You're literally driving. It's a computer on wheels, right? So you all know that they're literally driving driving an iPad or something like that, right? So now everything is software, and IT. In all this terrible crisis that we all were in the last like nearly 2 years now, right? So everything went down. All the businesses. It was a huge shock to all of us, right? Two industries that were booming, they're actually gain more momentum, more business is health industry and NIT, right? NIT more than anything. So it's incredible how many people were coming to me and saying, hey, can we hire somebody? We're just struggling. We need more people, right? Now, so software. Now, what I want you to see it, look at this diagram. Just think how software created. Let's look on the right side of this diagram. You see that says business, and you have person named Reem, right? This person is business analyst. Now, business analyst job is to actually speak with the customer and analyze requirements. Meaning, customer comes in to us and says, "Guys, we need you to build us a software, piece of software." So business analysts say, "Yeah, not a problem. Let's sit down and talk about what you need." So business analyst job is basically to sit down with the customer and collect requirements, right? So they write it all down, and every time they write it down, business analyst will turn the paper around or digital give it to the
Parah koneksinya parah. Parah audio nak. Betul kan? Aduh, webinar parah.
Customer. What happens next is, Umesh, let's change the slide.
Sure.
Now, you see on the left is the same diagram. Yes, on the left is the same diagram, right? But what we see on the right, you see Marcus sitting at the desk, and there is another environment called production. Now, look at this. When you come home from work, or you think, okay, let me see what's happening in my banking, in my bank. You actually log into your bank. Many of us do have banking applications, right? So our banks actually allow us to do banking online. So think of Marcus being you, right? If Marcus is you, you come back home, you get in front of the computer and say, let me check how much money I have in my checking account and my savings account. And you go mybank.com. You hit enter, And you see that arrow pointing down to production. So this is what happens. Your browser goes to your banking production environment, and that production environment, sometimes we also refer to it as live environment. It goes to the banking environment, banking application in production environment, gets whatever information you're looking for, and then you see that arrow pointing back up. All this information actually displayed on your screen. So everything, look at Marcus and production. This is basically what's happening. In order for that happen, regardless what you do, you're using your banking application, or you go to your Facebook page, or you go to your Instagram, or you go to your TikTok. It's all exactly the same. You use your device, you connect to production live environment, and you get the what you see on the screen. For that to happen, that entire team has to do all this work, right? So they have to build it in development, test it in QA, test it in UAT, and only then deploy it into live environment, into production. So after our 4 program, you will end up in as software developer and test, you will end up in QA, but you also may end up in infrastructure. As data management, database developer analyst, you will end up in data management. As cybersecurity, this is so versatile. You can end up in infrastructure, you can end up in data, you can end up in QA or infrastructure, right? Or architecture. Now, as well as development, all right? As UI UX, you will, UI UX developer, you will end up as either in development, as part of a front-end team development, or in business, because you are more of a business side professional, okay? Now, this is pretty much it. This is pretty much it. So this is where you're heading. IT is absolutely incredible, incredible choice for your career. Very rewarding. IT people are, people of many different talents. You will be working with technology. You will be around IT people that do a lot of stuff, right? So IT people are crazy. They're climbers. They're paragliders. They are musicians, right? So, and they're very, very talented. Your life will be very, very rich. And we at Canadian College of Technology and Business will make it happen for you. And I take personal pride and personal responsibility to help you make it happen.
Thank you, Boris. I'm just going to quickly see if our students have questions from today's webinar.
All right.
Okay, so Divya wanted to know the full form of CCTB. I'm pretty sure, yes, she got her answer. Mohammed Siddiq Fahim wants to know how we can get a scholarship. Mohammed, you can always contact us by visiting our website.